As Uganda marks the Water and Environment Week, the country has had to address issues of water scarcity for the people living in districts found in the Kato corridor like Mubende and Nakasongola. The struggle to find water and pasture for their cattle is a constant one. In Nakasongola district, for instance, the herdsmen here have to wait in line to get water for their cattle. The rain hasn't fallen for months and most of the water sources have dried up, save for this deep well which is now being overutilized. The struggle is just as intense for the locals who also need the water for themselves.
Bwetava amazzi bukyatukosa nnyo olw'ensonga tegatumala akanya tukozesa kamu ate ne sente tetukyayina providing amafuta gakuba amazzi gajja wansi kukuwa nte zaffe kunywa.
Here, hundreds of cattle graze on the already drying grass as they await their turn to the water for them to quench their thirst. Most of these herdsmen and their cattle have moved for hundreds of kilometers in the scorching sunshine, and some animals often end up dying as a result of dehydration.
In some areas we find that rain is delayed. In some areas we have rains that have reduced so much. And in some areas the seasons have changed completely. So when this happens, what we are seeing is that most of the households in these communities are getting more food insecure. Their income sources are reducing, and we are having more and more poor households that are coming up as a result of climate change. So the areas that are most vulnerable to climate change are also areas that have significant food insecurity issues in the country.
But elsewhere in the Kato Corridor district of Mubende, where pastoralists have in the past experienced similar problems, the solution to the problem of famine is this valley tank, which was constructed with aid from government and the Food and Agriculture Organization. With a valley tank like this one, also comes great responsibility for the locals.
Before this dam, I used to get like 15 liters of milk, and I didn't have these pastures, improved pastures. But when this water was brought here, this dam, and improved pastures, now I'm over 50 liters of milk.
According to the Food and Agriculture Organization, many of these tanks are being set up in several places, not only to support cattle keepers, but also help farmers in irrigation, especially in areas where water is still scarce.
20% of your country is covered by water, so which means that the groundwater is also rich. So there is a potential for us to pump water from the ground, not necessarily from the lake or only waiting for the rainfall. So we have to invest more in terms of drilling, so we can bring water, use more solar pump, so farmers are not dependent on fossil fuel.
Farmers in Kasanda district and cattle keepers in Mubende district have continued to embrace the technologies that have helped them harness the water that they reserve in their dams. This was another measure that they have used to also counter climate change. Suhail Mugavi, NTV.